Welcome back to DES Trucks. In recent videos, we talked about corrosion getting on your wiring harness on your Ford trucks, particularly your Ford work trucks. And I want to talk about that some more and give you guys a few different perspectives on how this can affect your truck and how to manage it. So here on the passenger side of my 2024 50, you can see that there is some salt sitting in here on the carpet. So let's go ahead and pull this floor mat and see what's under here. Now, passengers get in and out of this truck when we are working on this side of the truck, and you can see that there is some salt creep on the carpet right here, right by this panel. Now, this panel behind this door is your main fuses. See if I can pull this off real quick. Get up in there. And look at that. So there's your fuses and your BCM, I believe. Pretty important stuff. And salt is starting to make its way near this panel. So it's not quite there yet, but any more salt than this, and it could reach that point to where it gets into your BCM and it just starts to cook things. Now, I want to show you guys a different perspective. Now, I've already showed you how I'm dealing with this on the driver's side, which was the worst side because I'm always in and out of the truck, whereas there's not always a passenger in the truck. But what I did is I took everything apart, all this plastic and stuff, I took it off, and I covered everything in some high quality protective tape to keep salt from really getting in there. But I also, guys, I want to show you guys another perspective on this. Let me close this up and I'll show you what I've done with my 2019 F-250. All right, guys, so I've already taken the back or the panel off of the truck, and I want to show you guys how this truck looks. Now, this truck does have a salt spreader on the truck as well, but the salt damage isn't quite as bad. Now, it probably is because this truck doesn't do quite as much salting as the 450 with the big 2-yard spreader on it, but it's done some salting. But I want to show you guys something, and this is going to be controversial. This was done to this truck a few years ago. When you look in here, you can see that way down in there, there's a little hole. And basically what I've done is I've added that hole. Now, there's a bottled water right here. Let's go ahead and take this top off of this and see like what happens if water gets introduced into this truck. All right, guys, so I got the top off. Let's go ahead and see what happens when water spills on the truck here. Now, I do advise you guys, do not try this at home. So, my harness is getting wet. My truck's getting wet. Do not try this at home, by the way. I have experience with these trucks being wet all the time, so I know kind of what they can do and what they can take. So all this snow gets tracked in, salt water fills up this area of the truck. Now what? As you can see, it's wet. And the last thing you would actually want is moisture to sit on this harness and to submerge this harness in water. Now, that being said, I don't think you're going to ever really get that much moisture all at once, naturally, just from water working its way into the truck or whatever. I actually think this truck has a leak anyway, because if it's wet out, if it's raining, and you come and look, the carpet still gets wet, and then like water, it just never accumulates in the truck. But there's another leak that I need to address. But check it out, guys. It just pours out of the bottom of the truck. Now, as far as water getting back into the truck from this hole, let's look up underneath here and see how it looks. So basically, it comes right out of that right there. Let's see here. How does that look? So there you go. There's a hole right there that it drips out of, but there's baffling in the way. You can't actually see, like when you look in here, you can't actually see down to the ground because where this hole is made, there's all kinds of like folds and everything in the metal, and I don't believe you can see all the way down to the ground. But yeah, basically all the water for the last couple of years, because of this little hole getting in, has basically gotten out of the truck, and you don't see all the salt creep uh, on the harness. So pretty interesting thing that I've done. And I know that's going to be controversial. A lot of people have said, hey, your truck's going to rust where that hole is. It's going to rust out. Hasn't been the case, considering these Fords are all aluminum. So no, it hasn't rusted where the hole is drilled. Aluminum just doesn't corrode as fast as steel. Now, if this was a steel truck, probably would have started to rust and bubble around that hole and eventually spread and rot the whole floor out. Hasn't happened at all with this truck, and it's been used for plowing and salting. But with that comes pros and cons. Like being aluminum, if you really look at this panel, it's all dented up from guys kicking this panel. So these aluminum trucks, if you're kicking this a lot, dents up real easy. So I wouldn't be surprised if aluminum really did dent a lot easier than steel. Not really a big deal. I mean, you can't see it. It's not too much cosmetic. But yeah, there's some dings. There's some dings along this panel just from being kicked. But yeah, that's what I've done. I know it's going to be controversial. And I've done it to both sides and have had really good luck out of it, out of doing that. I wish I would have done it sooner, but unfortunately, I waited. Now, I don't think every truck needs to have that done. But if you're a work truck, if you're a plow truck, guys are going to track that snow inside no matter what they do. Even if they kick their feet, they can't get it all off. Well, I think in that case it's something to consider. But anyway, guys, comment below. Tell me what you think about this. My name is Sean. This is DS Trucks. See you in the next video. Over and out.